For hver dag der går, stiger antallet af immigranter i USA, mulighedernes land. Over 1 million mennesker krydser årligt den amerikanske grænse, mennesker fra hele verden. Amerikanerne kalder deres land for en stor melting pot, et land opbygget af mange forskellige nationaliteter, hvor der er plads til alle på trods af forskellige religiøse, politiske, seksuelle og personlige holdninger. Nogle immigranter forlader deres hjemland i håb om bedre økonomi, jobmuligheder, uddannelse, mere personlig frihed eller for at opnå den amerikanske drøm. Opfattelsen af den amerikanske drøm varierer fra person til person. James Truslow Adams, en amerikansk forfatter og historiker, beskrev i 1931 den amerikanske drøm i hans bog The Epic of America. Drømmen om et land, hvor i livet skulle være bedre, rigere og mere fuldendt for alle. Det er ikke blot en drøm om biler og høje lønninger, men en drøm om social orden, hvor i enhver mand og enhver kvinde skal kunne blive accepteret for hvad de er, uanset social status. I Wilmington, North Carolina, bor i dag familien Ibrahim Neshad. Familien består af Nima, Melissa og deres 2 døtre, Kayla og Maya. I 1979 emigrerede Nima med hans forældre og søster til USA fra Iran. I dag lever Nima et succesfuldt liv med hans eget entreprenørfirma beliggende i Washington. Men hvorfor valgte familien at rejse fra Iran til et nyt og fremmed land?
So for our family, it was a decision to provide me and my sister education, better education, and it was after the revolution, so we didn't have really a choice of staying there and going to school because the country was in turmoil. Well, I think most people that are outside America, they expect that America is the land of prosperity, which is what most people think of as the American dream. It's like everything is possible in America. So I think in general, my family understood that. That's why we came here instead of like going to Germany or going to somewhere in Europe. That we didn't know how to speak English. My mother knew some, but my sister and I did not. And my father, he passed away after the first year we were in America. It was very difficult on my mother's part and my family's part, but we always felt like we were welcomed in America, right? So we had struggles, as you could imagine, and my mother kept the promise that she made to my father to keep us in America so we could be educated. And it was very hard for her, but she took advantage of every opportunity that this country provided her and provided us, and I think she not only has achieved the American dream, but she has watched her kids achieve it.
And I end up with 2 kids, 2 teenagers, to bring them up and just prepare them for all the things going to be happening in the future, and build them up for the good future. For this season it was hard for me.
It was hard, but it wasn't hard because I felt like I was discriminated. It was only sometimes that I've heard comments of, oh, he's Iranian or Iranian, and I was very young when I heard that, but I understood that that's what every immigrant feels, right? And I don't have any problem at all. That's nothing compared to what this country gives me. I was terrible in school, because I loved socializing in school. It wasn't because I was stupid. I was young, I was immature, and I just played a lot. So that's why I was bad in school. But once I knew that I had to be educated to succeed, and I went to school, university, my first year it was all A's.
And my grandma was a very hard worker. She had like 3 jobs, and my dad had 2 jobs, and his sister had a job, and they all worked really hard. And while he was in school, high school, he would work all through the night and come home, never have time for homework, and they made it. And they had food on the table. They had the bare minimum, but they were happy, and they all 3 of them had to work hard to have the American dream.
In high school, I wrestled all my life, right? And my family, my father and my uncles all did. But then I saw the Olympics in 1984 on TV, cycling. And I loved cycling because I used to always ride my bike everywhere. And you know, I decided that, you know, one day, you know, after wrestling, I was going to race bicycles.
Da Nima havde besluttet sig for, at cykelløb var mere interessant end wrestling, begyndte han at træne. Efter kun 8 år havde han deltaget i flere forskellige cykelløb rundt omkring i Europa. I 1992 deltog han i OL i Barcelona med det iranske landshold.
Then I had contacted Iran, and I went to Iran and I tried out for the Olympic team, and I competed in the Barcelona Olympics. And from there, I came to America, back home, and ended up winning 6 or 7 national championships. So that's American national championships as an Iranian.
I always tell my kids, you know, just dream high and work for it and you will get it. It's not anything, you know, in America to stop you. You can get the things, you know, you want if you work for it. Yes.
1992 was the biggest year of my life. 1992, I went to the Olympics in Barcelona. I became a U.S. citizen, and I was married when I came back from the Olympics. And in November, my wife and I, we had our first child, Kayla. So it was a huge year. But the point is, I was able to do all those things without sacrificing too much of another, right? And I could have raced professionally, but I didn't want to sacrifice my family life. And I wanted to have a profession. So you know, I did that. But I did all those things, and then was able to open up a business, you know, in the computer field. And I worked for the government first. And when I turned 30, I'd worked for the government about 7 years, and I had reached a top level of the government pay scale. Most people would retire at the position that I quit. So I was 30, and I was at, the government here pays from step 0 to 15, and at 30 I was 15 already. And I just thought, well, I can't sit around for 30 years to retire on this. And as an immigrant, the American dream is to be your own boss, to have your own business. So that's what I did. I started a business, and I told my mom and my family, and of course everybody said, yeah, of course, do it. So we sold everything, and me, Melissa, Kayla, and Maya, we moved into my mother's condominium, which was a 2-bedroom condo, and lived with her when we started our company. And within the first 2 years, we built a house. You know, it did really well, and now it's 15 years. And so I've done a lot. So, how did I achieve my success? I think the number one thing that drives me is that I don't want to let down my mother. And I don't want to let down my family. So I always use that as the barometer. When I make a decision, I always say, will this embarrass my family? Will this cause something where my mother or my family will not be proud of me? So I use that as a motivating factor, and for me, it's very clear to make life decisions when it's just that, and also to have a good balance, right? I like to, you know, in everything I do, I want to succeed. I want to be a good son. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good entrepreneur. And you can do that if you keep balance. So the point is, you should live your life, live every day to the fullest, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to be. right?
That, as a kid, seeing them struggle, and sometimes my grandma was unhappy, he saw that kind of to push him to make sure that he had the best life for himself and for his kids and for his wife when he got older, which made him be such a successful person, because he took that and drove him to be as successful as he could and make me and my sister and my mom as happy as we